Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and Rey Palpatine is coming back. Remember her? At least that is the case according to this new rumor from this website. Let's go ahead and take a look at the article and see if there's any truth to this. Rumor. Walt Disney executives see Star Wars brand as damaged. Allegedly have new plan involving Rey and Baby Yoda. And you know what? I, at least off the title, can believe half of this. Disney is not seeing returns on their Star Wars stuff. We've seen a steady decline, both in sales and popularity. The Star Wars brand is inherently damaged, and if it takes Bob Iger or anyone intelligent to come in and realize it's damaged and they need to reorganize and do some reshuffling, I can believe it. Now, the rumor itself in this article, I don't know if I believe, at least not in its entirety. Let's go through and I'll explain why. A new rumor claims the Walt Disney executives see the Star Wars brand as damaged and allegedly have a plan involving Grogu and Rey to fix it. The new rumor comes from scooper and YouTuber WDW Pro in a video about Lucasfilm's rumor next steps for Star Wars. Now, I don't know who WDW Pro is. If any of you guys, if any of you viewers do, by all means let me know. Are they credible? Are they reliable? Are rumors and leaks that they've done before? Have any of them come to fruition? I mean, we all know Mike Zero. Dude is a bold-faced liar. That said, Doomcock, well, there's been many a time we've had to throw a nickel in the Doomcock was right jar. So some of these leakers are entirely believable, whereas others are complete fabricators. So let me know what you guys think of WDW and whether or not there could be any credibility to this rumor. I'm going off purely what I see in this article. Before jumping into the information he heard about Lucasfilm's plans for the future of Star Wars, he noted, "I'm told there was a decision point in the last few months concerning Star Wars, and that the decision point came because the brand is seen as damaged, even internally at Disney." Well, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Disney's in the midst of a potential hostile takeover with an investor that wants to get on the board to force an ousting of Bob Iger. Frankly, something I'm hoping for, but the point is, yeah, if you've got investors and probably even people inside Disney knowing what Star Wars used to be and what it is now, yeah, I can see it be considered damaged. And I don't want Star Wars to be damaged. I mean, clearly I'm a Star Wars fan. Birdbrain's name is Hondo Onaka. I'm a Star Wars fan. And I'm not even anti-Disney Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars Visions Season 2, the Disney Star Wars anime that's coming out, I'm excited for that. I love Star Wars Visions Season 1. There is good things on the horizon. But let's be honest, Star Wars Visions Season 2 ain't exactly going to break the bank. It's just kind of a cool little novelty project. He went on to explain why. That's due to declining viewership for Disney Plus. It's due to declining interest in the parks. The parks. That is where Disney makes the bulk of their bling. Next, he illustrated, and that's particularly destructive on two fronts. First of all, Star Wars is supposed to be an evergreen franchise that has its own marquee on Disney Plus. An evergreen franchise, for those of you that don't know, an evergreen franchise is a franchise that no matter what, you put the toys out there or you put information about it, it sells. It's year-round. No matter what the state of the economy, it's something that will sell. Monopoly, the board game, is an evergreen product. I mean, you put Monopoly on store shelves, it will continue to sell, regardless of how popular the climate. That's what an evergreen thing. And Star Wars for a long time was an evergreen franchise. It is not anymore. I covered in a different video. Distributors, toy distributors, companies that are taking the toys are not, they're turning away Star Wars stuff because it's not selling, removing its evergreen status. And second of all, it has some of the most premium real estate in any of the Disney parks, both on the West Coast and the East Coast. Star Wars cannot fail for Disney, he asserted, and the decision point is that Star Wars is failing. Well, I'm glad someone's saying it because, yeah, I get it. If you're a Disney Star Wars fan, awesome, happy for you. It's not working for the vast majority of people, and if it's not working and not making money, then it goes out the window. Bye-bye. No more wars that take place amongst the stars. He continued, "So it is my understanding that the top-level leadership, you make of that what you will, but the top-level leadership of Lucasfilm was brought into the top-level leadership of Disney as to what we're going to do in the future to reconcile this problem they have." WDW Pro then got to the meat of this video about what Disney's plans for the future of Star Wars are. First, he outlined a number of options that Disney executives had allegedly discussed. I'm told that some of those options included retconning the sequel trilogy. Yeah, fat chance. No. There's no way Disney is retconning the sequel trilogy. I doubt that was even on the table. It's statements like this that make me weary of the rest of the article, because, yeah, while he does go on to say that this isn't happening, like in the next sentence or two, the fact that he's even saying that it was on the table when anyone who has any knowledge knows that this was probably never on the table. I guess technically there's the chance anything's possible sort of thing, but everyone knows, nah, this was not on the table. As well as continuing the narrative around what they've done so far. He then relayed, I'm told that Disney is going to bring back Rey. Now this I can believe. I can absolutely believe Disney is going to bring back Rey. I mean, Daisy Ridley was just in an interview talking about, coming back to the role. She's waiting for the call. She'll be there. She loved it, this, that, and the other. It seems awful strange that she would talk about that, like a week and a half ago, and now all of a sudden there's rumors that she's coming back. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth there. After a brief discussion with his panel guests about what their thoughts about Rey returning, WDW Pro revealed, "This contact, the source tells me the reason they're going to potentially bring Rey back is to test it out." See, again, while I can believe Rey would be coming back, it wouldn't be as a test. You don't make such big money plays as tests. Disney is already hemorrhaging money in certain aspects, not getting stuff released in China, Star Wars failing, the parks, no one going to the parks and them losing money. You don't hemorrhage more money by bringing back such a massive IP for a test. Usually these are like, hey, 3-film contract deals, things like that. So I don't see this part being true. I can believe they're bringing back Rey, but not for the reasons he's explaining. Put out big merchandising push with a theatrical release to go along with it and find out, can Rey invigorate Star Wars with a number of the other characters around her? Later in the video, WDW Pro explained that Disney plans to roll out what he calls a Galaxy Pillar system. He explains the Galaxy Pillars. Now, this part, I agree. I can absolutely believe that this part here is all true. The Galaxy Pillars, which will be the big characters going forward, which Disney hopes to unite the fan base by putting these characters together and having them be part of a unified story. They're going to attempt to bring Rey back to get the sequel trilogy fans, should there be any, and some other characters. He continued, "I received information from this source that in testing with random people, huge numbers of people, consulting firms brought in for this, that R2-D2 is far and away more popular than BB-8. It did not matter if people had never seen the droids before. It didn't matter if they'd never heard of Star Wars whatsoever." Now, this is true. R2-D2 and Darth Vader, as just visages, as logos, are recognizable around the world. There's been so much market testing done on this. There's like a special done on this on YouTube like last summer or a year ago or something. I watched it. It was super cool. But R2-D2 and Darth Vader, just as logos alone, are some of the most iconic visuals literally in the world. So if you're putting R2-D2 next to Grogu, next to BB-8, next to pretty much anyone that isn't Darth Vader, he blows them away with the recognizability numbers. So having R2-D2 be, them taking that into account, financially putting him front and center in the movies next to Rey, that makes absolute perfect sense because this is just fact. Like, this whole thing is a rumor, but what he's saying about R2-D2 right now is a fact. The market tests have proven it time and time again. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if this aspect is not rumor, is absolutely entirely true. And so in this next push, you can expect for BB-8 to be what's referred to as a Tier 2 character in the story, and R2-D2 will be up front as a main character, he asserted. And that's coming off this testing they've done with audiences to see, sort of engineer this story from the fans up. They're trying to determine it that way. That might be true. I don't see Disney changing it now to give fan goodwill, but I guess maybe. After claiming that R2-D2 will be united with Rey in this new vision, WDW Pro revealed it also includes 3 other characters. Rey is the character who leads it all. She's the one they want to pin this on and try to revive it. If it doesn't work, they're willing to go back and scrap, but Rey is there, he says. Chewbacca is back. I'm told Chewbacca is in this. He's one of the only legacy characters left alive. Sure, technically in-universe, Leia's alive, but Carrie Fisher's dead. Harrison Ford ain't coming back, and Han Solo's dead. I bet Mark Hamill would come back. Let's be honest, Luke is dead, and Mark Hamill is a shadow of his former self. So Chewbacca's really all you got. You got C-3PO as well, but next he says, R2-D2 number 3 is what I'm told. Number 4 is a brand new character. Finally, the 5th character is Grogu. And again, this I'm entirely willing to believe. If they were wanting to get people back into Star Wars, they're going to want to bring in the sequel trilogy fans, the OG fans with Chewbacca, R2, and 3PO, and then fans that are somewhere in the middle, like almost like me, with something like from The Mandalorian, Grogu. He has just been iconic in the modern era. I can believe this. I don't think it will work, don't get me wrong. I think this is just throwing a bunch of amazing ingredients together in a pot and hoping that does, the work itself. I'm sorry, I love blue cheese and I love Snickers. I'm not going to throw blue cheese and Snickers in the same pot and let them cook together. I just don't foresee that being the greatest thing. especially now with some red bell peppers and some bok choy, and maybe throw in some lamb as a protein just to bring it all together. I'm sorry, but the lamb Snickers bok choy stew just doesn't sound appealing to me, and that's what it sounds like they're doing up here. WDW Pro goes into detail. The idea is that somehow Grogu is going to unite with Rey in the next movie if they can work out all the contracts. If they get Daisy Ridley back, that Grogu will be a part of it along with R2, Chewie, and a brand new character. As for where this plan originated from, WDW Pro says, I'm told this is a new thing they're trying now. It's an Iger initiative to rejuvenate the franchise. But here's the thing. Is it an Iger initiative? Because Kathleen Kennedy is still in control. Or is he basically saying, look, you're already on your way out. I'm taking control for right now. Maybe that's the case, but I thought Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, they were also helping run the show. Where are they in this? I mean, I don't think Bob Iger cares or knows enough about Star Wars to be like, I want these 5 characters in a movie together, and you guys figure it out from there. I don't think that's Iger's specialty. I could be wrong, but Iger's looking more like at the Disney parks and how to make money, not the specific IPs and characters for us nerds. The rumor does come after Daisy Ridley recently shared her Instagram story that she was at Lucasfilm. However, as noted by MovieWeb, Ridley indicated she was only there for a lunch visit. The actress also recently indicated that Rey's story ended in a wonderful way. Yeah, like I said, she was talking about the character. I remember this. She told The Hollywood Reporter when asked if there were plans to revisit her character, honestly, I have no idea. I feel like Rey's story ended in a wonderful way with the last film. She continued, I feel like quite a different person. We've all gone through a massive change in the last 3 years with lots of crazy things happening. Ridley then asserted, so I really don't know if there are plans. I just don't know. Ultimately, I love my experience, I love what I got to do, and I love the people I got to work with. Well, yeah, she has to say this. Even if she's been, even if she was at Lucasfilm for that lunch meeting was what bringing her back in, she has to say this sort of stuff until it's officially announced. So, I mean, the rumor could go either way. This could all be bunk, or she could really be in talks right now to come back. But even if she is, she's not going to tell us that. That's just not how the Hollywood sphere works. So should that happen again, even once, amazing, because the dream is really to be around nice people to make you feel good and feel heard while you do your good work, she concluded. There was also a recent report from The Hollywood Reporter back in October that a Star Wars film written by Watchmen creator Damon Lindelof would take place after the events of 2019 Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, although it would not be a continuation of the Skywalker saga. However, the report added, it could, however, feature some of the characters from the Star Wars trilogy made in the 2010s. What do you think of the rumor that Disney executives believe Star Wars is a damaged brand? What do you make of this rumored plan for the future of Star Wars? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think there's a lot in this that could be true. I think them bringing back Rey could be true. Disney does love their girl power. I think that them using R2-D2 could be true because, the marketing just speaks for itself with all the studies that have been done. I even think that them bringing Grogu in could be true because, man, you got Rey, you got Grogu. One people hate, but Disney really wants to push. The other people love, so even the people that hate Rey are going to go see a movie because Grogu's in it. And then, of course, there's the R2-D2 factor. Yeah, I think that technically all that does make sense. But I don't think that there's any credibility to this rumor. Again, I don't know anything about WDW Pro. All I know is that Star Wars films have been in the dark for the last 4 years, and the idea that they're bringing it back now as a test does not sound very realistic to me. Star Wars isn't a test. Star Wars isn't something you test. If you're going to test, you do it with things like the TV shows. You do it with things like Star Wars Visions. You do it with video games. You don't do it with main entry films. And yeah, I guess technically it didn't say these would be main entry, but also, these aren't spin-offs. This ain't a solo Star Wars story. This ain't a Rogue One. They're bringing back Rey and Chewbacca and R2. This isn't a spin-off film. And if that's the case, then you would think that would mean, oh, it's going to be a new trilogy. They don't really do one-off Star Wars films that aren't spin-offs. So again, this wouldn't be a test. This rumor has so much that could be true and so much that's too good to be true. The one thing I will concede on is that Disney's right. Star Wars is damaged. Star Wars has been damaged, and I don't know if Star Wars can be repaired, although I absolutely hope for it. If it gets repaired, it's going to get repaired like the way Chewbacca repaired C-3PO after he got blown to bits in Cloud City. That's the type of repair that Disney's going to do. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments below. Do you think there's any credibility to this rumor? Let me know what you think of WDW Pro. And please, tell me what you're hoping for in Star Wars, or if you think Star Wars can even be saved. Also subscribe, check out the back catalog. I am a news channel. I've got nerdy news on Magic the Gathering, anime, Star Wars, you name it, it's here in the Nerdosphere, so please subscribe because this has been Words of Paradise.